A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back once again to Nerf Secrets Revealed Aftersought Part 2. So for this very instance, what we're going to do here is take a bit of a gander outside of the usual comfort zone and go with some more bits and pieces on the Mega lineup. Because one blaster has in fact eluded the whole thing so far, and that of which is the Twinshock, which is an enormous blaster. I mean, the size alone can be rather intimidating to the average person who may stand in your way. And with 10 barrels to work with, I could very well see this either being a super shotgun-esque sort of thing, or maybe an HMG. I guess we'll be certain about this when the actual test comes up. But of course we know that functionality-wise, it's mostly operated by this down here. You got a nice big draw, some unique ratcheting effects, and well, firing wise, that's basically what it is. It might as well be a rough cut on a lot of steroids. But the rough cut itself did have a number of different factors to it. Apart from it being on a more portable scale, in contrast to this, I doubt anyone could fit this in like their bag or something like that. But of course, performance-wise, you might recall when I had this featured in distance gauge, and it certainly did a nice job in terms of its overall performance. Dart range was impressive, considering a blaster like this could fire 2 darts at a time. Or of course, you could go even more of a rough cut and just simply, well, pull light on the trigger basically. Much like that. And well, I'd say out of all blasters in the Mega line, this definitely is pretty high ranking because you have such good capacity, you have a nice ability to draw. Gives me a lot of Raider and Rampage vibes, although the grip in this one is designed a bit differently. And of course, apart from it having rough cut technique, with the usage of smart AR system as well as dual triggering, in which that one dart can be fired while the other one can be used by squeezing the trigger even further. This blaster does also, believe it or not, have slam fire. So this pretty much does cover the basic output of the blaster itself based on its overall performance and functionality. But now we'll get to the detail segments. As I said, 10 barrels up front, nice long draw on the bottom, which is activated by this priming handle, a large Mega logo on the side, nameplate, Twinshock, which is written in black on both ends. Likewise with the Mega logo, you have it white on one side, but then it has red on one side. Likewise with the original Nerf logo. I always found it pretty weird that why would they have it colored on one side and it matching the body paint of the same type on the other side. I never quite understood why that would have been necessary. Ultra blasters did a similar thing, and even other blasters of other lineups had done the same thing as well. So this is just something I never quite truly understood by any possible means, logically or whatnot. But of course there is one more test to perform. Even though this doesn't have any barrel extensions or stock adapters, a couple tactical rails are on top. So if anyone wanted to take advantage of a scope module or something, well, this is pretty much what you could do. But now it's time to put it to the real test. Oh man, I tell you, my shoulders have been through a lot, but I never would have guessed we'd have something like this. It's just as I had originally suspected, with this being more of an HMG style. I also would have been quite surprised had this gone more super shotgun-esque. But I guess with anything that's shotgun-like, knowing that it has a priming handle down below, it's not always like that at all, you know? Some things are more shotgun-like than others, and then of course, you have yourself other blasters that tend to do differently than you might expect. Any case though, Mega Twinshock is without a doubt a great blaster to have With 10 darts you get for a nice 10-barrel system up front, some unique slam firing, rough cut AR, and plenty of other unique pieces that are worth mentioning. Despite how the price tag had actually gone down, not too many people would actually want to own this in their collection. However, I will in fact come along to remind you that even though it might seem higher in price and a bit larger than what it should be, based on its overall functionality being a bit simpler than other blasters of this size, I still would go out and dish this kind of money for a blaster like this. To have this in your collection, but moreover, to have a good Mega Blaster in your collection. Because with some not so good contenders out there, like the Bulldog for instance, the Mega series unfortunately had plummeted to a point where the XL series overtook it by 2021, and not much more things Mega related unfortunately exist anymore. And so it's a bit tough to imagine another series of Mega Blasters, but it does almost seem that with the fact that the Zombie Strike series have been revived in 2024 with the zombie lineup, it almost does seem that it is a good way to at least shine a bit of light throughout the very long dark tunnel that is truly what Nerf has been putting us through. And with a lot of things that have happened since the start of the decade, it's good to at least look back on what Nerf has achieved over the years. 3 lineups had all gotten shut down by the end of 2020, and in 2021 they really attempted to not only replace them with crappy lineups, but also undermine the true legacy of which that has shown down. It's kind of like what happened with Universal Studios over the years. They shut down rides like Ghostbusters, Jaws, Back to the Future, and many others, only to replace them with some not so great things out there, and also keep a lot of other contenders that didn't do so well in comparison. But every which way, the Twinshock itself is going to get a good 8.5 out of 10.1 by my overall scoring, and as such, thank you very much for watching this piece. And I'll be back later on with some more content coming your way.